Hi, welcome. It's time for my state of my art report for this week. As you know, I used to do 2 times a week a state of my campaign, but I'm not doing that anymore. I am now doing state of my art or state of my artistic endeavors. Yeah, I guess state of my art. Okay, so I am in Etzgen, Switzerland, just across the border from Germany, and I have a art studio, warehouse, showroom, gallery, workspace, all of the above here. I guess I should tell you who I am. So that is Susan Maude Buchser Lochocki. My artist name is Maude in Art, but I've gone through different stages in my life and my name, and so Maude in Art is a new old name, and this was one of my first artworks as a kid. So it looks like I have a Christmas tree for hands. My name is Susie SL. Then, I don't mind cats, but I prefer dogs. I like cats. I like my sister and my brother. I like my dog. And that is very true. I liked our dog very much. The bunny jumped out of his cage. He was afraid of you. I don't know if the description came first or if the drawing came first. This is my drawing. So I have no idea what age this is. I'm guessing it's kindergarten. And it was probably a book we had to make for our parents. So, anyway, that's me. Okay, then, let's see, I want to go through time. So, I started in art, as you see, as a child. Let's see what other child things I have here. I used to like to go to religious education because they had us doing artwork. So some of these things will be about religion, and this is one of them. I also went to a Catholic, I suppose, kindergarten and first grade. And then after that, I just went to public school. But here, this is a drawing of God told Noah to take 2 of every kind of animal. So this is from religious class, of course. Then the flood came. And it's the same person writing on it. Some things are on 2 sides. So I don't know if this is continuing with it or my beginning of my love of trees. I was living near the redwood forest, the Muir Woods in California at the time. I was actually born Travis Air Force Base, and then we moved to another Air Force Base near Sacramento. I guess I was learning how to write my name. The Lochocki family. And fluorescents were a new thing, fluorescent crayon. It was fascinating, and I've always loved working with fluorescents, I have to admit. There's something about them. So here I am. I guess some sort of birthday was going on. And I don't know if that's something I drew or if somebody drew it and I colored it in. I have no idea. I kind of look like that now. Except it should be something like, I don't know. The hat colors match my shirt colors and my hair, and there we go. I'm a clown. This is, I'm going to say, a little bit older work. I'm going to say it's probably elementary school in Rochester, New York, when I lived there. Then let's see what other old works. So here I was learning letters, and I had a speech impediment where I couldn't say certain words, and I think these are the letters that I had to work on, or at least this. So S is for snake. S is, says Susan Lochocki. I guess the teacher always made these little books. See the snakes. Then see the moon. So this was my moon drawing. Again, I guess this is what, first grade, learning to write, or maybe kindergarten. I don't know what they were doing back then. And this was for M. So throughout my childhood, I had to have special education because I couldn't speak and I couldn't spell. I had all sorts of issues, but today I'm fine. It just takes people longer sometimes. So, see the flower. Then shh sound was also see the shack. So I had to practice that. And I drew a shack. And Z for Susie, even though you don't spell it that way. See, that was my trouble. That my name was spelled S-U-S-Y, but it was pronounced like a Z, and I didn't understand. So English was not making sense to me, which I think a lot of you can understand that. So that's the end of that one. Let's see what else I have. Oh, here we might have an answer. My name is Susan. I am 7 years old. I am in first grade. I can do many things. Voila. There we go. One of my first recorded writings, I suppose. And I did pretty good. You know? So these are, I guess, some of the things that I like to do then. all kinds of stuff I was doing. 7 years old. Walking dogs, big dogs, small dogs, swinging. And here we are. I guess this is about the same time. I had to cut out and make an owl. I like the owl. And this is very interesting. Because I have a artwork that my daughter made that has also these little zigzag lines. So I guess she might have been also around 7 at the time. And then here we have a Easter theme, Christian theme. And then I think this is from a later time, but I'm not sure, but we made a map. And I actually remember making this map. We often had to make maps and design islands and stuff like that in various classrooms that I was in. And I remember, this is an older one. So this is something I did older because I'm writing in cursive here. So I'm going to say it probably is from Rochester, New York, when I was in 3rd grade. This is Christopher Columbus map. It was formed in China. It was spotted at 2 o'clock 3 years ago. He was born September 14th, 1451. He died in 1506. He was a brave man. The people thought the world was flat, but he knew the world was round. Susan Lochocki. So, can you see? I show him landing where the America's mountain range is at Guatemala. That's why it's called America, from the mountains in Guatemala. Then here's some other things. I guess my desire for horses started too. S. Lochocki is what I wrote. I'm not sure how old I was. By the writing, I would say 7 or 8. But probably still in California where they had horses. I don't remember a lot of horses on Guam. Okay, yeah, this is kindergarten. So, the ugly duckling, perhaps. And here we are, getting some good feelings. There must have been something here. There's a hole. So I'm going to say maybe there was like a flower or something I put on there, but I don't have it anymore. And then a Halloween themed artwork. I guess no U.S. child would be complete without that. and we were probably collecting things for UNICEF. Then California. Again, dinosaurs. Well, not again, but dinosaurs in California. And then probably my first oil painting. I have another one that's a bit nicer that's framed, but it's a horse. On a sunny day with clouds. And it looks like it's done when I was 7 or 8 years old. It's in oil paint because that's what they had back then. There was no acrylic paint when I was a child. That was house paint, so nobody was using it. And I did different techniques on this. I had to have some thin layers, and I have some very thick. The sun is bursting like it does in this one. So interesting that I did that. And it looks like I did some dots in the clouds too. You can see little specks of blue, so I must have been like taking a brush and causing it to spatter. So I would have to say that the techniques used in this work were probably inspired by something my mother was doing, because she was an oil painter. And I don't know if she's still doing it, but she was at one point. So yeah, so I'm gonna say this is, and I guess that's a fence behind the horse. I'm gonna say this is about 7 years old, give or take a year. And this is probably the earlier version. I have a framed work in the USA that is also a horse in California, and it looks a little more polished, so I'm going to say this was the first one, and then that was the second one. So yeah, I've come a long way. As you see, there's some artworks behind me here, and I'm still doing and creating today works. Yeah, and I'm moving into performance art, which is also new for me. So that is where I am for this moment. What else do you want to know? I think that's enough for today, actually. This is part 1, the start. There could be works that are even earlier than what I have here, but I think this is pretty much, kindergarten, so that's what, 5, 6 years old, and 7 years old. So 6 and 7, definitely. And then, I don't know what all I have. I have tons of boxes. When my father died and my mom moved out of the house, I brought a lot of boxes of mine here with artwork, and I never had a chance to go through them. And then, I was a good 20 years married here in Switzerland, and then I got divorced. And so then my ex-husband put everything that was in a box into my studio, and I have no idea where things are. So I'm going through them slowly but surely, and so it'll be an adventure for both of us, or for all of us, as I go through my collection of Susan Maude Buchser Lochocki and modern art. Yeah. For me, I don't know. Doing the work, creating an image is part of it. In today's world, I'm more important with bringing change and making people think. So that's where my art has taken me. What I showed you was mostly two-dimensional, except for the sun was slightly three-dimensional because it was a bit thicker. So you got to view some two-dimensional works. What I'll do is I'm going to go up close to some of these smiles behind me. As you know, I'm working on something called Smile for Peace, It's Enough Already, or Smile for Peace, It's Already Enough. However you want to call it. It's time for peace, folks. I was born during the Vietnam War. My father was directly involved. Our family was directly involved. And war is not necessary. And I know it firsthand. So, we need to stop warring, put the guns down, put the weapons away, and sit down and discuss a solution. It's going to end that way anyways. It's time to stop war. It's time to live in peace. We can do it. We are all neighbors of each other. It's time. I call on the leaders of the world to treat their people with respect and dignity and give them the tools they need to live their lives. And I call on the leaders of the world to realize that women are an important part of your world. Without women, there would be no children. There would be no new citizens. So, it's time to pay women for our important work of being mothers. We are active mothers for a time, and then we are passive mothers. And then sometimes we go on to be caregivers and other things. This work is crucial for humanity. Creating good, healthy citizens is crucial for humanity. And you need to pay us, leaders of the world. It's enough. It's also enough. So the smiles you see behind me are smiles from women mostly. There are a few men in the colorful things, but the drawings on the wall are women's smiles from here in Switzerland. They're women's smiles from the club that I belong to, the American Women's Club. And I can't say that everybody's from America, but they're either American or friends of Americans. So, there you have it. It's part of this artwork that I did to celebrate women's rights to vote in the USA. I'll give you a closer look. And we'll even start over here. And go through it a little bit. These are all done with a pen to paper, working from a photograph. There are 19 of them because it's the 19th Amendment. And there's one more over here. I did that in celebration of the 100-year anniversary of women's rights to vote in the USA. Okay, so here we go. Thanks for stopping by. That's the end of my art update, or state of my art, or state of my art for today. I'll also give you a glimpse of my degree that I got from Parsons School of Design, from the New School for Social Research. I think you can see it. It's a little dusty. In fact, a lot of things are dusty here. But anyways, there we go. So, that's it, folks. Until next week. Bye for now.